Hello, MouseHunt. Welcome to Feedback Friday. It is December. December is upon us. It's December 6th. Hello, everybody in the chat. Hope you're doing well today. Surrounded by some icy decor here. It's been getting chilly both in game and in real life, at least here. Hope everybody's doing well today. Welcome on in. Hey, Sean, nice to see you. Schoolwork. Michelle, Wavin, Rocco, Nicholas, Scratchin' Dude. Welcome on in. Happy hunting. The Great Winter Hunt is just around the corner. Gene asking who will be our guide today. Well, I guess that's me. I'll be guiding you into the winter hunt just a little bit. Stephen, hello to you. Xanther, Karen, nice to see you. Chris as well. Jordo, hello. Thank you for the kind words. Nicholas asking if the gift of the day base changes color every year. No, there are two versions of it though. Was a limited edition, and one became a permanent fixture of the Great Winter Hunt as well. So there are two, and I think they have slightly different names. I'm trying to recall. I think there's the Gift of the Day base. I feel like the one has an extra adjective in there, something like that. Lady Nutsy, welcome on in, reminding me to take a sip of hot coffee. That sounds good to me. So thank you for the kind words in the chat about Franco as well. Very sad news on the team. If you haven't heard as well, we lost a member of the MouseHunt team recently, Franco, who'd worked on the game for over 15 years. So, thank you for all the love as well throughout the community. He definitely left his mark on the game and the community as a whole. And it was just nice to see the outpour of support and love from the community there as well. Scratching Dude, morning to you. Greetings from your northern neighbor in Norway, across the pond in Norway. It's probably getting pretty chilly in Norway as well, I would imagine. Well, today I thought we'd look at the Great Winter Hunt because it is just around the corner. It is coming up December 10, and it will run until January 8. That makes it one of the game's longer events. I think maybe it's only rivaled by the Spring Egg Hunt. That's usually quite a long one as well. The final closure won't be all the way till January 14th. There is that 1 week shutdown phase. You can still send out golems, but loot stops dropping from mice. There's a few ways to get kind of trickles of golem parts here and there. You can use the workshop and what have you, but it's always a good idea to try to get through as many golem parts as quickly as you can during that shutdown phase. But not to chat too much about the shutdown phase because, well, the event hasn't even started yet. But if you played the Great Winter Hunt last year, it'll be very familiar. It's the Frost King is back. You're going to be able to visit the Great Winter Taiga, construct golems, send them out to anywhere in the kingdom that you've acquired the map piece for and that you meet the title requirement for as well. So that is sometimes a nice little goal to set for yourself if you haven't unlocked all the areas in the game. I mean, the clock's kind of ticking a little bit, but getting a few of those last map pieces or trying to level up, making sure that you can send out golems to those areas is important. And there's some new things every year as well. A new limited edition base and trap to earn. Those are going to be on the reward track. There's a journal theme as well. That's worth mentioning that you can earn during the event, although it's not on the reward track. The Great Winter Hunt is one of those events where there's a few different phases to it. There's a lot going on for sure. Some things familiar as well as something new. So there's the animated snowstorm. That's definitely been very popular with hunters. You can expect that weather event to make a return. Profile gifting, which has been around for a very long time. It's got a couple things that make maintaining it sometimes a little bit of a challenge, to be honest. But it's a good bit of fun as well. You can visit your friends' profiles, leave gifts underneath a tree on their profile. One important reminder there as well is to kind of get the word out to as many people as possible. And you can remind your friends in the game as well that there's something called the Grand Gift Opening Ceremony, and that's when everyone can open up those profile gifts. Once that happens, you cannot send gifts anymore, and it's a little bit of a technical challenge to support sending gifts after everyone can open them. So it's just an important little piece of information to keep in mind that once you can open up those profile gifts, you can't send them out anymore. So you can still use a supply transfer, right? You can still slide something your friend's way. You can still give a gift, but it won't be wrapped under their tree. So. And as well as a New Year's celebration, which happens every year to ring in the New Year as well. But with all this going on in the winter hunt, there was something else new that we wanted to add just to make that a little bit easier to parse as well. And that is the Great Winter Hunt Event Calendar, or the Winter Calendar, however you want to call it. We had a little less space on mobile, so we couldn't quite call it the Great Winter Hunt Calendar. But it's an event calendar, and it's something we hope players find useful. It has all the important bits of the Great Winter Hunt. Like I was saying earlier, it goes on for quite a while. It's a number of weeks. It's one of the longer events in the game, and there's a few different twists and turns as things go on, or new things to anticipate, look forward to. Like I mentioned, the animated snowstorm, very similar to last year's. This year's storm is going to last for about 48 hours, and the mice will drop animated snow in similar fashion to previous storms. Something new this year is Stuck Snowball Sundays. So on Sundays, a special bonus specific to the Stuck Snowball mouse, dropping some bonus loot. And the quantity of bonus loot that the Stuck Snowball mouse will drop is going to be dependent on how many times you've captured that mouse this year. So not your total number of catches, but the number of catches you have of that mouse during this event. Not calendar year, but during this, since the start of this year's Great Winter Hunt. If you've encountered the Stuck Snowball mouse before, you may have noticed it gets a little bit heavier. It gets a little bit bigger every time you capture it during the event. Its artwork slowly changes to be more and more snowy, and its point and its gold goes up a little bit as well, up to a maximum. But that's going to be extended to the loot that the Stuck Snowball mouse can drop, including a chance of finding throwable snowballs from the Stuck Snowball mouse. So that's kind of something a little bit fun each Sunday. Might just start as a small little bonus at the beginning of the event, but by the end, and you've captured that Stuck Snowball mouse a number of times, that the quantity is going to keep going up as you capture the Stuck Snowball mouse more and more. I've been asking for the Draconic Depths loot preview. Well, that's something else new this year. Down below is a golem loot preview. So before you send out a golem and you're trying to decide, well, where do I want to send a golem? Or, maybe you have a hat or a scarf and you're thinking, well, do I want to send my golem to a different area to use that hat or scarf? To kind of help make that decision, you'll be able to preview what a golem can potentially bring back from an area before you even send out the golem. There'll be a little gift box icon in the same part of the interface where you choose which location you want to send your golem to, and it opens up something that looks very similar to what I have down here below. You can see I'm showing the floating islands. It'll look a bit familiar if you like to do maps. It's a similar looking interface for when you take a look at what might be in the treasure chest that you find at the end of doing a map. Kind of same idea, very rare, uncommon. And there's a bit of a vague sense, it's a bit of a range on each of those rarities. Definitely some that say very rare, some are even more very rare than others within that tier, but just to give a little bit of a sense, but also leaving a little bit of mystery and surprise as well. You never know what that golem's going to come back with. So, is Stuck Snowball Sundays now? No, you can see on the calendar, actually. That's what we're hoping to clarify any confusion of when that starts. You can look at the calendar, and sure enough, any one of those Sundays that has the Stuck Snowball mouse on that calendar, that's a Stuck Snowball Sunday. Jasmine's liking the calendar. There are a few things to take in with the Winter Hunt, that's for sure as well. You can see we have the grand gift opening ceremony. That is on December 19, just kind of how the timing of everything worked out this year as well. So that's, like I was saying earlier, an important note to make. You can leave gifts under the tree on friends' profile pages, and on the 19th at about the same time we usually update the game, which is about right now. It's 11 a.m. here in Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, I think we're in Standard Time. I think I got the time zone right. I'm gonna hope so. So I'd probably look at it like, hey, you have 18th. That's your final shopping day, all right? You got to get all the gifts under your friend's tree. And once everyone can open their gifts, you can no longer leave gifts under the tree as well. So kind of the 19th is a bit of an important day when it comes to gifting, that's for sure. I think you'd be interested to see what the heaviest catch is. Your heaviest is 32 pounds. That's more snow than mouse. That has to be more snow than mouse. Has to be a heck of a lot of packing snow, I'd say. It seems like it has some weight to it. Scratching Dude, you love the preview. That's a perfect addition. The calendar as well. And hopefully it helps make a few decisions. I know if some hunters like to send out their golems to a different spot when they have a scarf or a hat on it. So you kind of, it's also fun to browse around a little bit, kind of a kid in the candy store feeling when you look around and see, well, what can all these golems bring back? Tomato, will there be any update for golem reward for the fungal cavern? The current scarf reward's kind of weird, as you'll need to farm minerals just to convert the diamond from the scarf. Well, every area has its own different kind of vibe and identity, and it's that's to say it isn't necessarily to skip right to the end. You still need to get the minerals, much like a lot of things that the golems can bring back. They're things to help you in the area, right? It's definitely diamonds will help you in the area. Dave, can we expect a mythical dragon heart from the loot golem in the Draconic Depths? Well, you'll be able to tell as soon as the winter hunt starts because you'll be able to preview the loot rewards. That said, yes, there is an exceptionally rare chance to find a heart as a golem reward, but I think it might set the record for the most rare item that a golem can find. So it's definitely bordering on non-existent. Logical, you missed the start. What's happened till now? Looks exciting, eh? Well, we're just kind of looking ahead at the Great Winter Hunt a bit, and these are a couple of the new things that are coming with this year's Great Winter Hunt. Is a calendar to help see when everything starts and finishes, when the different phases are, as well as a golem loot reward preview. Avanish asking when the Great Winter Hunt ends. We may need to make the calendar a little bit bigger, but we're hoping the calendar helps answer those questions. There's always a little bit of mystery in the air about, it's hard to remember a lot of dates, and I mean, that's definitely, I'm one to speak. I misspeak my dates quite frequently here. I have a hard time remembering what day of the week it is half the time, but a calendar can be helpful, so you can see that gray area at the very tail end of the calendar spanning from January 8 until January 14. I'm tempted fate saying dates out loud here. The event ends on January 8, and the event's kind of final closure is on the 14th. Now, keep in mind, it's when we update the game. So, time zones can still be a little bit confusing, right? So, it might still be the 14th, and the event comes to a close for you, even though you look at the clock on your computer and it's like, wait, it's still January 14. But kind of time zones are a thing. But at some point during that day, we update the game to start the event, or the closure phase, and that is when mice stop dropping golem parts, they stop dropping cheese, and really have a week to try to send out as many golems as you can. You can smash golem parts into animated snow, and then you can buy jingle bells with the animated snow, and it's a way to very quickly send out golems, even if you kind of have more parts than you have time to have them all come back. Michelle, it's so rare, it's scary. Yeah, we were wondering if we needed even a different adjective, because it feels like it's its own classification of rarity beyond the rarest adjective. But, we'll see. As always, we keep our ear to the ground, and when something kind of new gets added, it's its initial version, and we kind of see what players have to say, and we iterate on it, incorporate feedback, and hopefully make it a little bit better each time. Scratch and Do, can you only preview the level your golem is currently at? It doesn't particularly matter because the golems don't necessarily bring back different things based on their level. They just bring back more quantity of loot. So when you have a level 1 golem versus a level 10 golem, the 10 golem is going to bring back 10 items, and the level 1 only brings back 1, assuming you don't have a hat or a scarf on it. But it's the same pool of items. So the quality of the loot does not change as you level up your golem, just the quantity of it. The only things that affect the quality of the loot that come back is if you put a hat on it or if you put a scarf on it. Those add extra slots to the golem, and those slots are more valuable items usually than you'd find in some of those standard slots. That said, as you do upgrade your golem, it does add some bonus loot. I think throwable snowballs are one of the items. Festive Ultimate Lucky Power Charms? I forget now. I don't have it right in front of me. There's a few different bonuses that get added to the golems as you level them up as well. I think Gilded Charms, I think those are something as well. If you have the Golden Shield, then your golems will bring back Gilded Charms every time in its own kind of special dedicated slot. Gene, the Great Winter Hunt has always been the Golem Winter Hunt in your book. Feels wrong if anyone to pronounce it wrong, eh? It's time to sound my horn. Let's see what happens. I'm in the Living Garden, well, Twisted Garden to be more precise. Nicholas, is it tradition? Does the dev team always bake cookies during Christmas? You know what? We did once upon a time. We did bake. I don't know if we ever made cookies, which seems odd. That seems like something you would definitely make. But no, I do have many fond memories of doing what we'd call Feed Bake Friday. I think the very first thing we made was a Yule log, and I wonder if it was because we had a Yule log collectible in the game. I think we made, it doesn't seem too festive. I think it was fried bocconcini balls because we had bocconcini was the cheese of the year. I think we made green and red chicken wings one year. That was festive as well. I feel like there was more baking involved as well. We maybe made the gingerbread base. I think we just baked a big old slab of gingerbread. It looked kind of neat. Didn't taste particularly great. It was a little too firm. I don't know. Baking is part science and part art, I think. Pedro, any new things to purchase with Advent chocolates? The list has been the same for years. As always, some new skins get added. So there'll be some new skins to purchase with Advent chocolates, or at least skins that you couldn't buy last year with Advent chocolates. Is it possible to add very rare for the Heart in the Loop preview? I can see people going ham without knowing the odds, eh? Well, that's something to, like I said, it's always good to have a little pinch of mystery and community collaboration as well. Sometimes, having everything 2-2 just kind of spelled out in black and white can kind of take some of the mystery and experimentation out of things in one way. So it's kind of, you can kind of reminisce together a little bit. It's a conversation point. It's like, oh, how are you doing? What have your golems been bringing back? What do you think this is going on? Jonathan, welcome in. Good afternoon. Logical, you are a returning player after 9 years. Well, welcome back. No idea what's going on. Very excited for this. It is one of the more exciting events of the year. I think they're all exciting in their own way, but the Winter Hunt certainly does have a bit of a grand stature to it. Like I said, it is a lengthy event. That's something good to keep in mind as well, especially if it's your first time building golems. It's the type of event that starts a little bit slow and you build up some momentum. As you level up your golems, they start bringing back more items. You start to be able to upgrade them a little bit. It gets more expensive to upgrade your golems, but your capacity for collecting materials to upgrade the golems is also increasing. So there's a little bit of a momentum, and it's maybe a good analogy. It's kind of like you got to get the snowball rolling a little bit, and then there's a snowball effect. So even sometimes it might even feel like sometimes your golem comes back, and each individual golem just has a little bit of loot with it. It brings back a few goodies, and sometimes you almost have to wait till the end and take a look, step back and like, whoa, that added up. Because you were going for 5 weeks, right? And we've been doing a little bit of that while we've been play testing it. Often I'll kind of empty out my inventory in the test environment, and then I'll go and play basically 4 or 5 weeks worth of the event, claim a whole bunch of golems, and then usually what I like to do, if I was sending them all to the same place, is then I travel to that area. So say it was a Draconic Depths, that has a new reward this year. So as you can imagine, we've been testing that out a bit. Then we go back to the Draconic Depths, and our inventory, we knew it was empty when we started. Just kind of look at the hub. It was like, okay, where do I start here after 5 weeks of collecting golems? And you got to do some fun style runs after that for sure. YX, could we have more options to get Hunter's Horn Rewind Charms? No, those are pretty niche, powerful little items, and it is kind of one of those special items that break a very kind of core rule of the game, is you can only hunt once every 15 minutes. So they're more just for fun. Every once in a while you get a few of them, and they feel awfully special. And in one ways, I guess you could describe they're a little broken in some ways, I guess too. But that's okay because you only get a few of them. You can't trade them to other people. They're just for you to have a little bit of fun with, and they have a few niche uses. And I think they're best kept that way, just kind of not short and sweet. I don't know what a good phrase for that is, but you just have a few of them to have fun with, and they're not really meant to be a serious item that you're going to and using with any sort of regularity or strategy. No previews, we love mystery. Well, you're in luck. I'm not set up to do any sort of demo or anything. This is kind of what I got in front of me. Well, shall we get to the trivia this year? For today. I mean, it is trivia that has something to do with the Great Winter Hunt. And we're going to have to think back a few years. We're going to have to think back a few years to which mouse was initially discovered. Did I spell initially right? It looks right to me. Looked wrong for a second. Which mouse was initially discovered at the very core of the festive comet? I don't believe the answer is 41. I know it's not 41. Scratch and Do Great Winter Hunt is your favorite event in the game. Lots of fun and very helpful. It's one of my favorites as well. I like Lunar New Year also. Lunar New Year is very, has a nice, just kind of unique feel to it. I like it how it just works with every area. It's kind of not its own sort of narrative gameplay as much as it's just a fun little bonus. Or kind of a fun big bonus, really. Sean, you just returned after 4 or 5 years. Welcome on back. Only one animated snowstorm this year, yes, but it is a little bit longer. And it's just kind of the timing of how the calendar days worked out and how the weather worked out. Hey, the weather's unpredictable as well. That can be the lore behind it, but we can break the fourth wall a little bit. It's just kind of how the scheduling worked out and how the calendar days rolled out. Got to learn all this, but after so many years, feels good to see the game community thrive, and I share the sentiment as well. Logical. School does golem loot per hunt assume CC usage in replicart hunting? Like I've said in the past, when we're kind of coming up with those golem rewards, we often kind of look at, okay, what would you get in 25 hunts in that area? And just to make the math simple, let's say you go to the catacombs and stale cheese drops every, like 100% of the time you get one from every single mouse and you never miss a mouse. Then you get one stale cheese per hunt. Again, I'm just making up numbers to make the math easy. Then a golem should bring back 25 stale cheese on average. So if you just have one golem running, it's kind of like, well, you're just doing basically the same thing you'd be doing if you visited the area. If you have 2 of them going, you'd be getting 50 stale cheese every 25 hunts. If you got 3 of them going, you got 75 stale cheese rolling in every 25 hunts. So it's kind of like a triple loot event. And again, it's not an exact science, kind of ebbs and flows a little bit. And we kind of take a little bit of each into account. Kind of depends. Often the standard slot is if your slot is a little bit more, if you're kind of putting more resources at it, because the hat is a resource itself. Scarf, same thing. If you're adding a scarf to it, then the benchmark's set a little bit higher because it's kind of a resource. So it's a little bit more in line with what you're describing. If you're kind of, whether you're using condensed creativity or using a powerful charm to increase your catch rate, something like that. So let's get caught up on the chat to look at the trivia here that's sitting beside me. Could it be 67? It is not. Old King Cole is Summer's guess. Close, but not quite. Camel's guessing the stuck snowball. No, it was not the stuck snowball. It's not the Warden Slayer trap either. Yeah, that was the answer to the trivia a while ago. It was not the Iceberg Sculptor either. That was another festive comet themed event. I think the comet had landed in the Rodentia Ocean. I think I'm going from memory here. I might be wrong with my storytelling. And then the ice sculpture mouse was launching ice sculptures towards the shore as a bit of a very unconventional way of attacking the kingdom. And hunters had to destroy those beautiful sculptures before they crashed into the shore and caused some mayhem. So I think it was adjacent to the festive comet. It was definitely a festive comet themed event, and I think you were tunneling into the center. That might be a good hint if you remember what the center of the festive comet is made of, and I think Swift has the correct answer first. It is the Naughty Nougat Mouse. The Naughty Nougat Mouse was discovered at the very core of the festive comet, and I'm trying to remember what year that was. It feels like forever ago, but it was a great winter hunt where the festive comet had crashed into the kingdom as it always does, and you were tunneling into the center of it, and you're going through the different layers. I think there was an ice layer and a candy cane layer, a garland layer, and the center was just pure nougat, and sure enough, there was the Naughty Nougat Mouse in the center of the festive comet. Let me put this link in the chat as well to make it easy to click. A little something to help out in the Great Winter Hunt. Something that's tasty, that looks tasty just like nougat as well. Potato, will we get post-event stats on items that were brought back by the fewest golems? I don't think we have that logged, to be honest, Potato. I don't think we're tracking that. Greedy Owl, that's even, I think that predates the Naughty Nougat. I think Greedy Owl came out even before that, tunneling to the center of the festive comet. I think that was golems though, because I think as you dug through the festive comet, you were finding those reinforced ice shards and you're using them to reinforce your golem. So that may have potentially have been the first iteration of the golem event as well. The wiki says 2017. 5 years. 5 years has passed. Where does the time go? It's the free ski game, the ski mouse she got the design from. I think that is a bit of a nod to a character, yeah. Indeed, there's 5 pecan pecorino behind that reward link. 100 sandblasted chrome metal. We've even discovered a new resource. Rest assured. I think Larry's got a... Uh-oh. I think my internet is starting to cut out a little bit. That might be cue that it might be time to go. 7 years. Uh-oh. 4, 5, 6, 7. Michelle, you just stole 3 years from me. You just stole 3 years from my subconscious mind here. All right? You're making time pass faster than I'm comfortable with it passing here. Yep, that's Dave math. It's only 5 years, right? 4 plus 3 is 5. As long as you don't carry any of the ones. But indeed, I think my internet is starting to have a small, throw a small fit here. So it might be time. Might be time to wrap up, hunters. But you can look forward to the Great Winter Hunt coming on December 10, assuming you can still hear what I'm saying. Have a fantastic weekend. Happy hunting. Enjoy the Great Winter Hunt. And I'll see you next time.
1, 2.
You're a trap. Don't seem to mind it. You attract me. I'm a mouse, you're a cat. I don't seem to mind it. Soft and furry. Oh, and just when I think I'm safe, snap. Turns out I'm never safe, snap. Just when you think you're safe, snap. I come back. You don't seem to mind it, but I'm a fool. Broke my back. You don't seem to mind it, 'cause you're so cool. And just when I think I'm safe, snap. Turns out I'm never safe, snap. Ooh. And just when you think you're safe, snap.